presentation for influenza and pneumonia. Influenza and pneumonia are coded J09 through J18 and exclude the following conditions. J09 is influenza due to certain identified influenza viruses. It needs a fourth character and excludes the following diagnoses. J09X is influenza due to identified novel flu A virus and needs a fifth character and includes the following diagnoses. J09.X1 is influenza due to identified influenza A virus with pneumonia, code, if applicable, associated lung abscesses, and other specified type of pneumonia. J09.X2 is influenza due to identified novel influenza A virus with other respiratory manifestations listed below. Use an additional code, if applicable, for associated pleural effusion or sinusitis. J09.X3 is influenza due to identified novel influenza A virus with gastrointestinal manifestations. It does exclude viral gastroenteritis. J09.X9 is influenza due to identified novel influenza A virus with other manifestations. Use an additional code to identify this manifestation. J10 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus and needs a fourth character and excludes the following diagnoses. J10.0 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with pneumonia and needs a fifth character. Again, also code associated lung abscesses if applicable. J10.00 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus or with unspecified pneumonia. J10.01 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with the same identified influenza virus pneumonia. J10.08 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with other specified pneumonia. Code also the other specified type of pneumonia. J10.1 is influenza due to other identified flu virus with other respiratory manifestations. Again, if applicable, use an additional code for pleural effusion or sinusitis. J10.2 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with gastrointestinal manifestations, and again, excludes viral gastroenteritis. J10.8 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with other manifestations, and it needs a fifth character. J10.81 is influenza due to other unidentified influenza virus with encephalopathy. J10.82 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with myocarditis. J10.83 is influenza due to other identified influenza virus with otitis media. Use an additional code for any associated perforated tympanic membrane. J10.89 is influenza due to other identified flu virus with other manifestations, and again, you'll use additional codes to identify these manifestations. J11 is influenza due to unidentified flu virus and needs a fourth character. J11.0 is influenza due to an unidentified influenza virus with pneumonia, and this will need a fifth character. J11.00 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with unspecified type of pneumonia. J11.08 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with specified pneumonia, and then you'll add an additional code to specify which type of pneumonia. J11.1 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with other respiratory manifestations. J11.2 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with gastrointestinal manifestations, and again, this excludes viral gastroenteritis. J11.8 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with other manifestations, and this needs a fifth character. J11.81 is, again, influenza due to an unidentified influenza virus with encephalopathy. J11.2, flu due to an unidentified flu virus with myocarditis. J11.83, flu due to an unidentified flu virus with otitis media. And again, you need an additional code if there's a perforated tympanic membrane. J11.89 is influenza due to unidentified influenza virus with other manifestations. And again, you'll use an additional code to identify the manifestations. J12 is viral pneumonia, not elsewhere classified. This is the excludes list for J12 viral pneumonia, not elsewhere classified. The following are different types of your viral pneumonia, not elsewhere classified. J13 is pneumonia due to streptococcus pneumonia. It excludes the following. J14 is pneumonia due to H flu. It excludes congenital pneumonia due to H flu. J15 is bacterial pneumonia, not elsewhere classified. It excludes the following. And these are a list of the different J15 codings. J16 is pneumonia due to other infectious organisms not elsewhere classified. It excludes congenital pneumonia, ornithosis, pneumocystosis, and pneumonia. J16.0 is chlamydial pneumonia. J16.8 is pneumonia due to other unspecified infectious organisms. J17 and 18 are the only other two categories left in this section, but as they are extremely rare, they are not included in this presentation.